Hey there, welcome. Looks like you're making some progress through this lesson. That's super awesome to hear. This lesson is going to be about staff and how to read notes on the staff and what the clefs are and ledger lines and stuff like that. Do me a big favor, pause this video and find a piece of paper and a pencil. I think taking notes on this is going to help you a lot. I would make a little section for vocabulary and make maybe another little section for what the vocabulary means, and maybe even a third section, because usually when we're talking about music, we talk about notation. Notation's like the secret little symbol or the code of what the thing is supposed to look like or mean. So take a minute, pause, write that stuff out, make a little column for the term, the definition, and the symbol. Okay, do that now. Now, while you're doing that, I'm going to start a share screen here, and we're going to learn about the staff. Make sure we share computer audio. I don't think there's any audio. All right, let's get that out of the way. Okay, I'm on musictheory.net, and there's going to be a link to this in case you want to revisit it on your own. Now, in theory, you get it, theory, because it's music theory. In theory, I could just turn you loose on this, and you should be able to click through and read it, but I thought I'd make a video for you because, I'm nice like that. So anyways, what happens is you click on each of these little sentences here, and it shows you an animation teaching what it's talking about there. So let's start. I'm going to read out loud what this stuff says. The stave, also known as the staff, is the foundation upon which notes are drawn. Write that in your vocabulary. Put staff, foundation of notes which are drawn, and then the 5 lines, because the picture up there on the screen, right next to my head, that's the staff. Okay, so 5 lines is a staff. All right, while you're writing that, I'm going to keep going because I don't want this video to go forever. All right, the modern staff comprises of 5 lines and 4 spaces. Hint, you don't have to draw the spaces. When you draw lines, space is there. Every line on the space every line or space on the staff represents a white key on the keyboard. We talked about that too. I don't think you wrote it down though. The white keys on the keyboard are known as the naturals. All right, they're called the naturals. Write that down. And again, you can pause this as many times as you need to catch up. All right, but I'm going to keep going. All right, these are called clefs, and you see there's 2 of them. Okay, the two clefs normally used are called the treble clef and the bass clef, all right? And it's kind of tricky to draw that, but essentially to draw a treble clef, watch my mouse up here. You're gonna start by making that dot. You're gonna go all the way up through the staff, all the way past that top F line. You're gonna curl around and make it intersect at the D line. And then you're gonna just draw a big old G that circles around the G line. Isn't that neat? So watch again the mouse. You make a dot, go through the entire staff, all the way up and past it, cross through the D line, and then make a big swirl or a G around the G line. All right, that's your treble clef. For your bass clef over here, if you watch my mouse again, you're gonna make a dot on the F line. That'll make more sense in a minute. All right, we call it a different note because it's a different clef. And you're going to trace and touch the top line and then take it all the way down to the B line down there. Usually you would call that the G line because that's what we learned for treble clef. I know, it's confusing now. It's going to make sense in a minute. Just trust me. Now, draw those shapes. Oh, don't forget the 2 dots. The 2 dots go around the F line there. All right, I'm moving on. You can pause if you need to. First, we will discuss the treble clef, also called the G clef, because it kind of looks like a G, and it tells you where G is, okay? The staff line which the clef wraps around, shown in red there, is known as G. Any note placed on this line becomes G, and if I click this button here, it's going to play a G for you. Ta-da. And that's G. Let's keep going. The note on the space above G is called A. You don't have to write all this down as long as you get it, okay? Remember, there is not a H. So yeah, musicians only know their alphabet up to G. We don't know past G. It starts over. Okay, the note on the line above that is called B. Congratulations. This process continues, all right? So it's just alphabetical. So in short summary, this is the G clef, also known as the treble clef. It tells you where G is, so that's G on the staff, and then you can use your acronym there. We'll learn that in just a minute. All right, so this next one says, uh-oh, we ran out of notes to place. What comes next? All right, so we're gonna keep on going down. Ledger lines, that's a new term. Ledger lines can solve our dilemma. A ledger line is a small line that extends on the staff when we run out of room. All right, so you see they just drew a line up here where my mouse is pointing. That's your ledger line there. Write that down. The ledger line drawn there, we can put an A on it. So we ran out of room, we made another line. I know that's beyond 5 lines, but it's just a little tiny one. And now we can draw an A, okay? And then your alphabet continues ascending from there. Cool. Now it's going to move on to bass clef. I don't want to do that yet. I want to stick here for just a minute, okay? There's a really neat acronym that we can learn to memorize what the lines and the spaces are, okay? So let's do this. On the paper that you're taking notes on, here's your next term. It's going to be sort of a long thing. You're going to write down this phrase: every good boy does fine. All right, do that. Write that down on there. So every good boy does fine. Okay? And then after that, in parentheses, you can put on the line. It's kind of like a little rap, right? Every good boy does fine on the line. Now, here's what that means. Watch my mouse on the screen. You can see on this bottom line here, if we continued the alphabet backwards, so this is G here, and we went down, this would be F in the space, and this would be E on the bottom line. It corresponds to that acronym that you just wrote down. So the bottom line is E, also known as every. The second line here is known as G, which is also, good, part of your acronym. The next line above that is B, which is boy. The fourth line here is D, does, and the very top line is fine. So anytime you're trying to figure out which note is on the line, you can think in your head, every good boy does fine. You can even count it out on your hands. Every good boy does fine. Try that with me. So start with your bottom little pinky right there. Every good boy does fine on the line. All right. Now, in the space, it's a lot easier. All you have to remember for space is face. Write that down. Face in the space. Okay. Now, for face in the space, it's just that simple. So if these were the lines, every good boy does fine on the line. In the spaces in between each of those fingers, you're going to spell face. So F-A-C-E. And it works like this. Watch the mouse on the screen. The bottom line down here is F. The next one's A. The next one's C. And the next one's E. That's how you remember it. Every good boy does fine on the line. Face in the space. Yo. All right. I don't think we're going to go past that. I'm going to stop the video here. We're going to call this the Treble Clef video. Thanks for watching.